Hi, I'm Don Bullock. Welcome to the Tech Eye Hound, where I sniff out news about Apple. This time, it's Apple's WWDC25, a sneak peek. The event was amazing. It was nonstop information about Apple's new operating systems for well over an hour. New changes and improvements were announced for all the operating systems. Now on to what actually is changing in regards to the look and feel of all Apple's operating systems. Oh, and first, the prediction that all the operating systems will now be designated with 26 is true. Going forward, it will be much easier to keep track of all the versions over time. Users can quickly tell if they're on the current year's operating system. With more people using multiple Apple devices, this unification of OS numbers will be even more important as time goes by. As predicted by John Prosser, Mark Gurman, and others, a new, in Apple's terms, liquid glass look interface was introduced across all the operating systems. This is the first time such a revamp of all the operating systems has taken place at Apple. And this is the first time that we'll be receiving a similar look and feel. This is a major feat for Apple. Not only are the images transparent and somewhat affected by the light around the user as predicted, they refract what's below. They also are somewhat fluid. This is an enhancement of how Dynamic Island works and changes dynamically on the screen. Content and context elements have a glass-like look and fluidity that's almost like water or bubbles. They respond fluidly in real time to what the user is doing. At times, they'll flow from either larger to smaller or smaller to larger in size as well. Elements that were previously rectangular have been rounded to blend more closely to the rounded corners of the devices and provide a more pleasant look. Since these elements are now translucent or transparent, they change with the color of the background, allowing them to better blend in what the user is viewing and appear to be floating above the background. You can see how Apple has been working on this new look for several years and even introduced it last year with Vision Pro and this year with some other apps. Even the app icons look like they're layered glass panels. This gives them a unique look that changes between light mode and dark mode, as well as colorful new tints mode and a new transparent glass mode. That last one looks cool, pun intended, but how practical it'll be remains to be seen. Yes, I fully admit that the liquid glass look is not innovative, but nowhere in the keynote did anyone at Apple or in subsequent interviews of Apple executives have anything to say about being innovative. They admitted it was inspired by Aqua as well. I'm sorry to say to Sam over at Apple Track, the new icons are not circles as you had hoped. I'm sure that was exactly Sam's reaction. As to John Prosser's prediction that the icons would be more circular than before, I really don't think they are. Here's a comparison on the screen. So what do you think? This new liquid glass design even spreads to widgets and the dock, and menus have somewhat transparent letters with no background. Again, the practicality is in question. Some have already said that they're hard to read. Before I will go on, for those of you who use and need the accessibility features, they're still there. Accessibility is still a priority at Apple. How will they work with this new look and feel? I'm not sure. I'd love to hear back from anyone who checks them out and to see what they think. That leads me to add here that what was introduced at WWDC25 is the first developer's beta. A lot will change before the first public beta is released. After that release, dramatic changes can still occur before the first release candidate that we'll see in the public. I have to say that in my opinion, it all looks great, but, and you knew there was one coming, I certainly hope that this change didn't cause all the issues that usually follow such extensive software changes as I fear it may. That's something that I'll be following up at least on iOS. From what I've read so far, iOS 26 will work on my iPhone 11. So if that's true, since this isn't my daily driver, I can try the betas once the public beta is released for it. No, I'm not in their developer program, so I think I'll just wait until the public beta comes out. And it might even work on my original iPad Pro, but I'm not positive. I'll have to check on that. For now, I can say that according to some who have already installed and used the new operating systems, that things are working very well day one of a new OS launch. Warning! Before you consider downloading any of Apple's betas, Andrew O'Hara has shared an important PSA, public service announcement, in a YouTube short. That PSA that I do every year, which is to don't download these first developers' betas. They're going to be typically very buggy. Unless you really want to live with a really buggy device for the next month or so, hold off. Hold off until July when the public betas become available. Dan Barbera on the Mac Rumor Show podcast added his own PSA. I will say if you hear me and you're like, I'm going to run the betas because this sounds really good, do not put it on your main iPad. Do not put it on any main device. That goes without saying. But I tweeted prematurely that, oh man, this is working flawlessly. And it does, but there is one fatal bug I keep encountering which is incredibly frustrating. So this is more of a PSA, not a rip on Apple because as I've said 1,000 times before, it's a beta. So these things are expected to happen. It just bricks your iPad. I hope you'll take their advice. I'm looking forward to the first time to be able to try some of the betas. I'm left with some questions about the glass-like look and animations of liquid glass interfaces. While Apple stated they can do all this because of the current processing power and memory of their devices, do these features increase energy use? Battery life? Is this truly a look and feel that will age well, or are people going to tire of it sooner than Apple thinks? Contrary to what some people think, Apple does listen to their critics. In the past, they've made major changes on operating systems following the initial release after receiving input, especially from developers and their customers. By the time you see this release, Apple will already have released Developer Betas version 2 for all the operating systems. From what I've heard, they've already fixed a lot of things of what people complained about regarding the visibility of liquid glass. They've also added some new features, but those are material for another video. Over here are some videos that I think you might like. Please give this video that thumbs up. It will help me greatly. Remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. And thank you all very much for watching.